of nature. So it's a collection that's inspired and that brings in the spirit of nature in the clothing that we wear, which is in terms of the natural fibers, it's with the natural dyes. So all the colors that you see in this collection, they are all derived from recycled flowers and fruits. So that's, and the other thing that we've gotten from nature is the inspiration in terms of the pleats and tucks and everything, which comes from the kind of folds and ripples that you see, folds of the leaves or folds of anything else in the nature, as well as the kind of textures that you find around. So that is about the collection. And
about coming back to Lakme Fashion Week.
Coming back to Lakme Fashion Week, well, Lakme Fashion Week always has an energy to it, which is always infectious. So and it's fun, and that's what brings us all here, I think, the energy levels here. And with Malavika, I think our association goes back very long, and she's someone who I totally identify with, a kind of, I feel that there's some ethos that we share as well. And we've done shoots together before. So there's almost no reason, or rather there's every reason to see her as my muse, or as someone who's wearing my clothes. So I think she's a perfect brand ambassador in that sense, with her being a young, absolutely dynamic actress who's doing great, interesting stuff. So that's exactly what we want in terms of the aesthetics as well.
Yes, yes.
So that's how I connect.
Malavika, tell us a little bit about when Padmaja approached you to work for her, about what did you think about her collection, about what she decided that you would be sporting, your overall thoughts.
Well, I've, like Padmaja just mentioned, we've known each other for a while.
Apologies to everybody.
As I was saying, so we've been family friends for a few years. And also, like she mentioned, we share very similar ideologies when it comes to fashion and textiles, and our love for just cloth. We love it. We have very similar aesthetics, and so it makes it very easy to work together. It makes the whole process a lot of fun. Which is why I really wanted to do this show. In fact, I borderline called her and I was like, Patty, I want to work for you, I think it'll be so much fun. It's fun to work with people who share the same wavelength. Also, she comes from a school of thought that I really love: sustainability, handloom, Indian textiles, natural dyes, the kind of color palettes, earth, nature, these are things that, that really excite me when it comes to fabrics. So,
we absolutely enjoyed having you again on the ramp today. Thank you very much. You look gorgeous. Over to the men in the room now. May I start with Soham? Soham, tell us about your inspiration, thoughts, everything about coming back to Lakme Fashion Week and presenting with the two of them.
First of all, I would like to congratulate my fellow designers and thank Lakme for creating such an amazing, especially the Sustainable Fashion Day. The collection I have showcased today is called Zari, and like the name suggests, the inspiration is festive. And when we think of festive or festivity, we think of gold, we think of shimmer, we think of silver colors. So it's woven on handlooms with zari, and the colors are very Indian. Like the inspiration was Indian festival. So the colors and the textures and the silhouettes are very much Indian focused.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving us something to look forward to for the festive season. It's different. It's something that we all can sport, easy to sport. Thank you very much. Over to you, Hemang. Tell us a little bit about Maku at Fashion Week, and over to you.
Sorry, I'm not Hemang. I'm Shantanu.
Shantanu. Sorry. Space
Sorry. So this collection is called Be Here, And through this collection, we try to talk about all the species which has been extinct or is been critically threatened because of the climate change. Because I believe that this is a critical, it's a crisis for us. And globally, we are trying to address this issue. We are trying to seek for answers that how to really find a solution for the climate change. And I felt that fashion is such a wonderful thing, and Lakme's Fashion Week is such a wonderful platform. And it's a great platform to really talk about something which is serious, something which is really meaningful. So if we can create a dialogue through this, then maybe in future we'll try to find, or many other people will collectively try to find an answer for the climate change. And for this collection, since we are talking about climate change, we thought it really makes sense to work with biodiversity. So we worked with Aerie from the forest of Assam, and unfortunately, we think that the tribes, the community really harms the forest, or they're using the forest. But actually, if we do not really protect the communities, we cannot protect the forest. And when we do not protect the forest, we know the reality in front of us. How Amazon is declining, it's really reducing. So I felt that's the best platform to talk about something like this.
Thank you for giving us so much to think about with your collection. This has been a fantastic evening. Thank you all. I'm going to open the room for questions.
मालविका, आप मतलब सस्टेनेबल फैशन की दिशा में क्या-क्या करने के लिए और भी आगे चाहते हैं?
जी क्या-क्या करने के लिए सब मतलब I've grown up in a household where I've grown up around my mother's cotton sarees, and it's been such an integral part of our culture ki it doesn't seem like a different entity or a different thing. It's a part of my household. Growing up, I've been wearing handlooms since I've been a kid, and I love wearing cotton sarees, and so I hope we've had so many conversations about this, right? Like sustainable. But I think it's very important that, especially now, we be more aware of and be more responsible of how our actions affect the environment, globally. Because fast fashion is quite harmful to the planet. So sustainability, it's always good to come back to.
We also know that right now there are fashion weeks across the world which are being also sabotaged. There are people who are saying stop London Fashion Week and stop Stockholm Fashion Week. So, I think a day like Sustainable Fashion Day, and for somebody like Malavika, who's a young actress, to kind of stand for this, and for all of us as designers to work for it, and for you as media to write about it. I think this is, every medium has is a form of expression, and we need to push it. And each one of us has a role to play in that. So it is not just that we wear a handloom or we buy one particular textile, but it's also about adapting it in our whole lifestyle. It exists from morning to night. Absolutely. And surely we are not perfected anything, Even today, I'm sure we all are drinking from plastic bottles. We all have flown in aircrafts, or we all are coming through cars. So I would never claim that we are perfectly sustainable. No, we are not. We are only attempting in one role. At least we are trying to make sure that our businesses or our action is not creating more trash. For sure, the whole system to change, it requires every one of us in this room to change and every one of us in this world to change. But it will happen with each one changing, because we can't wait for everyone to change. There are a lot of people who say that change always begins with one person. We cannot wait for everybody and say, let everybody do and then we do. So.
Can I answer in English? My Hindi is really bad. what I believe is it's not a challenge to reach out to the community, but it's a challenge to balance ourselves when you reach out to the community. Like we don't want them to change. We want us to change ourselves and to be able to go to the ground level and work with them. And it's been our attempt not to really change, or adulterate anything. We try their identity to live, because it's very important in today's world where everything is globalized. Everything started looking similar. You have McDonald's everywhere. We have things like that everywhere. Like every malls are becoming same. So we want things to be individual. We want every person to start having an identity.
And what you say for those, there is a myth that sustainable is super expensive and is not fashionable. So what would you say to that?
I would say, the cost of fast fashion is much more. The cost that we all collectively bear with fast fashion is much, much more. And if we really feel that, for sure it is very, very difficult today if I want to make organic food, how hard I have to work to grow that organic vegetables, make sure that the land is cleared up of all the earlier, the toxins that it has, and then make sure that it is fresh food, that it's not refrigerated. I can tell you something, like I grew up in a household where my father never ever had a fridge. I grew up entirely because he said, I will never have old food. So there are things like that. So do we have the courage to do that today? It's very difficult. So if you do that, what it costs is time. And time is money. So if you're going to spend time doing anything, whether it's growing food, whether it's making clothes, whether it is whatever, building a home, if you're going to do it slowly, mindfully, thoughtfully, it has to be cut away from economics somewhere. If you stick to the economics part of it, then it's always justified that कि हाँ आप सस्ता खरीदो, और सस्ता खरीद के क्या हो रहा है? We are manufacturing so much today, and so much of it is trashed. We all know there are so many big brands today which are closing shops across the world because they have overproduced and there is no one to buy. The people who are buying, they're wearing it once and throwing it away. I would personally say acquire less and enjoy more. Buy few clothes, even if you have to buy it expensive. Wear it for longer. I think this whole fad that we have, that we need to be in new clothes every time, we need to be seen in like this or like that, I think that can be discarded. So have a few clothes and feel proud that you've worn clothes which have not costed someone their sweat and blood.
Yeah, and ये जो idea है ना कि sustainable is not cool or not fashionable, ये मुझे तो कभी समझ में नहीं आया, क्योंकि मुझे तो like I still feel most beautiful when I'm wearing like like a really nice cotton sari with a nice blouse and some really nice jhumkas. So
I'm telling you that this is a myth and how to break that myth.
I think अभी break हो रहा है. It's also up to us. Like for me, it was very important. I wanted to be associated with sustainable fashion. As somebody, that who's asked about fashion and style and stuff, I wanted to wear something that's, sustainable.
And the fact that someone, a young person like her is supporting it and, and standing for it, that is a change. I think each one, often I see that the more mature people, maybe beyond their 35, 40, they understand what all this has created to the world, all this nonsense and garbage that is being created. So they shift to, kind of wearing nicer clothes, well-made clothes. But I think when younger people start shifting to it, when you see people from the age of 15 to 24 changing or 15 to 30 changing, that has some hope. But still we need to go very far. We have just few and far between people, whether it's designers or actresses or anybody else who are really supporting all this. We need much more traction for this. We need many more people standing up for this. That's when there can be some change.